They'll be on offense to start the ball game. Mark Vanover is the deep return man on the kickoff. Now, he struggled a bit in the previous game with a couple of fumbles against the Raiders. All right, he fields it at the 8-yard line, out to the 20, breaks clean across the 30-yard line. So a pretty good return by Tamarick Vanover. Lorenzo Lynch tackle. Now let's look at the offense of the Kansas City Chiefs as Rich Gannon brings them out, their offensive line.
This has been the secret for the Chiefs' success, especially the three guys in the middle. They have dominated and at least controlled the line of scrimmage in every game. Gannon, of course, replacing Elvis Gerback, should be back in 2 weeks. It's been an efficient offense, not a great offense in '97.
They start from the 31-yard line. Everybody kind of sat in for a moment, and they start with the fullback, and that is Kimball Anders off the right side. Well, check out the Oakland Raider defense. Beekert with that last tackle, and here's their front four.
This has been the frustrating part for Joe Bugel. This defense has just not played well at all. You see the late replacement, Lance Johnstone, for Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith with a pulled quad muscle. No aspect of this defense has been really worth complimenting, Charlie.
2nd down and 6. Blake Dawson, the motion man. Gannon to throw. Little swing, right flat, pass is complete. Very quickly down the sideline is Greg Hill. Hill to the inside at the 40, back outside at the 30, to the 26-yard line of the Oakland Raiders on the second offensive play, good for 39 yards.
Charlie, yesterday in talking to Gannon, I asked him what his greatest asset was to this team. He said, "I know this offense. It's my 3rd year in this offense. The little swing pass, certainly one of the big characteristics of the West Coast offense. And look at the poor tackling. People standing around here by the Raiders on their feet, not selling out, not diving. Historically, the Raiders defense has been a very physical defense. Not so in 1997.
First down, Kansas City Chiefs, opening drive of the ball game. Back to the ground with Greg Hill to see thing there. There's a couple of yards. We'll mark it into the 24-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down and 8 as Beekert again makes a tackle for Oakland.
Gannon is 3-1 as a starter in 1997. Lifetime 24-22. And in his 4 starts, he's been efficient, not spectacular. But the one thing about Rich Gannon, he will run. He will dive for the first down. He will make the commitment to help the offense succeed.
And Marty told us he's got pretty good speed.
He does have good speed.
Back to throw, steps forward, goes to the corner. A flag is down, and it's out of the end zone with a marker flying on the play. Andre Rison, the intended receiver, Spider-Man himself.
Charlie, I think this flag is going to be away from the play. There was holding on Lake Dawson by number 20, Perry Carter.
Holding, 20 defense, 5 yards, 1st down.
Ron Blum, the referee.
And again, that's the way out. Just grabbing a hold of a guy as opposed to covering them. And I don't know how you account. Joe Bugel can't account for the performance of his defense in 1997.
You asked him about it yesterday.
I said, Joe, I don't know what question to ask you. He said, it's just been frustrating. There's nothing to really put your finger on.
First down, 19-yard line. Leaning into the left side is Greg Hill. Hill at 214 pounds. Russell Maryland was there to plug the gap at the line of scrimmage. Interesting on Greg Hill, he has yet to score a touchdown this year.
Yeah, they kind of have a committee of running backs, and they're not bad ones. Greg Hill can do an awful lot of things. So can Marcus Allen. Kimball Anders is probably the most versatile of all. It looks to me like Greg Hill might be slightly injured.
Marcus Allen has come in to replace him. Play action fake. All the time in the world, now out of time, scramble and a sack. Back at the 27-yard line. So with the sack, Gannon's going to lose about 8 yards along the way.
McLaughlin is the man who gets to Gannon, but there was good coverage down the field. You see Gannon looking all over the place. And there's Dave Zott, 79 on Chester McLaughlin. And that's another thing that's not really worked for the Raiders. Very little consistent pressure on the quarterback this season.
So all of a sudden, the Chiefs had a drive underway, face a crucial 3rd down and 18 at their own 27-yard line. It's a 45-yard field goal attempt if they don't pick up any more yardage from here, if they care to go in that direction. Here is Gannon, and he goes deep to the far side. He is going to Andre Rison. No, that was Tony Gonzalez, the tight end. The rookie #1 draft choice out of Berkeley, the University of California. James Folston had the coverage on him, so the Raiders have held to this point, but Pete Stoyanovich is going to attempt a field goal.
Actually, I think Gannon made the wrong choice there. He went zone to Gonzalez, just slightly overthrown, but Lake Dawson on the crossing pattern underneath, I think, was open, should have gotten the ball, and probably would have picked up the first down.
Stoyanovich has hit 19 of 20 this year. His longest is 54. He has not missed a field goal in 10 games. 45 yards out. For the opening points, he's dead solid perfect. He has it from 45 yards away, and the Chiefs move on top. Opening drive, they're up 3-0. With these fans accept, it's been a very quiet crowd here at Arrowhead.
Well, but they get noisy when the opponent's offense takes the field to try to disrupt them. I've heard people describe this crowd in Arrowhead as college-like. And it's true. They can make an awful lot of noise.
Desmond Howard, number 80, the key return man. Tim Hall is back with him. High and very short. Will be taken by one of the upbacks. 3-6-4. The sluggish 12-yard return. We'll have to sort that out. But first things first, here is Jeff George as he will lead the Oakland offense. Their offensive line
has been very, very good. They have a 1,000-yard receiver, a 1,000-yard rusher, and a 3,000-yard passer, so the offensive line has done its job. And there are the weapons. Napoleon Kaufman, James Jett, Tim Brown, Ricky Dudley, all catching passes from Jeff George.
Offensively, they are loaded.
Yeah. The one thing about this offense, it's a quick strike offense, which puts more pressure on the Oakland Raiders defense, but this team has more plays 40 yards or more than any team in the NFL.
Oakland will start from their own 33-yard line, first down. First opportunity on offense. And they start with Napoleon Kaufman. He looks for the corner. Defense strings him out. He'll pick up a couple of yards out to the 35. Dale Carter chases him out. Let's look at the front three for Kansas City.
Booker Phillips and Dan Williams. Of the three, Williams has been the biggest surprise, playing very, very well. And this back seven of the Kansas City Chiefs defense, collectively, I think the fastest there is in the NFL. 5 new starters on this defense when the season began. They have played like seasoned veterans and have stuffed just about everyone.
You have a matchup, offensive speed, defensive speed. Tim Brown sliding down the line. Jeff George, pressure underneath the coverage over the middle, incomplete 39-yard line. Defensive coverage was Donnie Edwards. He's one of the inside linebackers, and he is literally everywhere. They say he reminds you of the quickness of Junior Seau.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the great things about the transition that Kansas City has made on defense to more speed. Edwards is one of those linebackers that can cover any running back out of the backfield and most tight ends. He's the most valuable player on this defense field for every single snap.
Raiders have been struggling. You know that. A defining early moment, 3rd down and 8, or it's 3 and out. George has pressure. He is sacked. It'll be 3 and out. Wayne Simmons gets him.
Well, last week, Jeff George was sacked 6 times by the Miami Dolphins, and the Kansas City Chiefs have made the transition not only to more speed, but a more aggressive defense. They will blitz anywhere, and the other factor is they'll blitz anyone.
Leo Aragoose will kick it away. Tamarick Vanover is the return man for Kansas City. Good kick. Good hang time.
He's got room too, Charlie.
18-yard line, left return to the 25. Nice coverage downfield by the Oakland Raiders. We've got a marker down. James Folston makes the 55-yard kick and a 9-yard return. We'll check out the marker. Kansas City up by a score of 3-0 with exactly 10 minutes left to go in the first quarter. A look at the two head coaches, Joe Bugle, Marty Schotten.
Normally it doesn't take the officiating crew this long to decide whether or not something on a special teams play is in fact a penalty.
Illegal hands to the face, 87 to the kicking team. By rule, that penalty is declined. Holding 54 of the receiving team while the ball was in the air. That penalty is enforced. It'll be first down, Oakland, timeout.
Come back and sort that out for you. We'll correct it. Don't worry. Back in a moment. Counted was on Tracy Simeon discussing that. It's a one-way discussion.
Yes,
with Marty.
Mike Stock, the special teams coach, is not. He's not listening. He's talking.
Yeah, but the correction is that it is Kansas City's ball, of course, at their own 9-yard line. And he wants the clock reset. Looking for the play clock. It had not started. I looked up and it's got triple zeros on the play clock.
Yeah, that
wanted the play clock.
Yeah, the experience of Rich Gannon paying attention to the 25-second clock and knowing that Ron Blum didn't really give him the full opportunity. It was about to expire on him, and they just came right out of the huddle.
Right. And the other thing, Anders, did you notice what he did? That signal that he did, that one hand pumping up in the air.
5 yards, 50 first down.
I disagree completely with that. Because there's no way with a team on the field in the huddle is going to miss a 25 seconds if they were told.
Absolutely.
They were not the referee, or they were told, and they weren't told loud enough, so they didn't hear it. He's got to communicate with it. Come on. So the ball goes back to the 4-yard line. First down and 15. This is Greg Hill going in motion. Gannon rolls and throws on the run to Kimball Anders, who has great hands. That, by the way, is his 52nd reception on the year, and he is tied amongst running backs with the most reception, including missing last week's Oregon.
Yeah, he has 61 carries and now 52 catches, and he came out of the University of Houston out of the run and shoot, and he is the most, I think, he is one of the most versatile backs I've ever seen in the league. He's an excellent blocker, can run for power, and is one of the best receiving running backs in the league.
Second down and 11 backs. And here is Anders on a sweep to the near side. He has the corner and up the sideline across the 15, and they'll mark him about the 16-yard line. So he'll pick up 8. It's going to be third down and short as Barry Carter took him out of bounds.
The simple sweep run by Kansas City. And Charlie, I said at the top of the game, one of the keys to Kansas City's success in offense has been the 3 guys in the middle. Run hard, Zott and Shields today are starting their 73rd game together. You have no idea how important that is to success in the NFL. I mean, these guys know each other like they're triplets. They know what adjustments to make and what calls to make against every defense.
Little jumping, but the defender got back for Oakland. Gannon sets, looks deep. Nobody there, comes back under to Kimball Anders, and he'll pick up the first down. Quick, deep read, nothing. First down's there, he takes it.
The interesting thing about this conversion is that it's Kimball Anders, and they throw it to him in the flat once. He runs a sweep, and then he runs a simple curl route, utilizing the fullback about all ways that you possibly can. Paul Hackett, the offensive coordinator, protege of Bill Walsh, and using the fullback in the West Coast style offense is key.
Kansas City now at their own 22-yard line. They're up by a field goal. Officially, it was 44 yards in length. Here is Hill, nice hole. Across the 25 out to the 27-yard line. So he 5 yards on the play. It's going to be second down and 5. Again, Greg Biekert, the middle linebacker for the Oakland Raiders, makes the tackle.
Watch the guys up front. You see Zott and Grunard get a double team, and Shields on the other side. Those 3 guys have to handle those 2 big defensive tackles for the Raiders. Chester McLaughlin on one side, Russell Maryland on the other. And there are very few instances where these three can't handle any two in the league.
Kamari Vanover is wide to the right side. Rison is wide to the near side. And we'll have flags before anything can get underway.
Well, so far, the officiating crew has been the star of this game.
They have dominated. They have dominated the camera. At least here it is.
Right of the snap, ball start. 69 offense, 5 yards.
That's on Jeff Criswell, the left tackle. Takes the ball back to the 22-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down and 10. Wondering if Kansas City is toying with the idea of going deep.
Why not?
They've only gone deep one time.
Yeah, Andre Rison is not a bad choice.
Kimball Anders hit at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 as we go to New York.
All right, Charlie, at Pittsburgh, John Elway and the Broncos get on the board from 38 yards out. Elway to a streaking Rod Smith down the sideline. Touchdown. Broncos 7-0 over the Steelers first quarter. Charlie.
The Denver Broncos know exactly what home field advantage is. They're well aware of their battles with Kansas City. They want to run the table the rest of the games, and if they do, they will have home field advantage. If they falter and Kansas City runs the table, Kansas City will have home field advantage. It's 3rd down. Here is the deep pattern. It's Andre Rison. He's got the first down, and he's out of bounds. He completely lost his defender. He faked him deep and deeper and came back. That was Terry McDaniel, who they told us, the Raiders told us, was going to be on Andre Rison to start the game. 22 yards.
McDaniel, throughout his career, one of the great man-on-man coverage men, but he bought the little hesitation, and Andre Rison just runs the out. Beautifully thrown by Gannon, because before the break was made, the ball was halfway in the air. McDaniel used to be one of the great man-on-man coverage guys. He's lost a step or two, and people do take advantage of it.
First down at the 45. Rison on the far side. Lake Dawson on the out of the backfield. This is Greg Hill, and he's got 5 or 6 yards on the play as James Folston takes him out of bounds at the 49-yard line of the Raiders.
Charlie, we just had a scoring update. Pittsburgh, Denver. Marty Schottenheimer has informed the people at Arrowhead Stadium today, do not put up any scores from the Denver-Pittsburgh game. He does not want anything to inspire Oakland or to deflate his football team. So we're going to be the only people that know what's happening. And the people in Arrowhead are just guessing.
But we'll share it with you. Donnell Bennett has replaced Kimball Anders as the fullback for a moment, and he carries.
He's tackled by Russell Maryland.
Now, isn't that something about a head coach? I mean,
this time of the year, you're looking at all the nooks and crannies, as they say, to see who might be lurking there.
Yeah, and I think Marty Schottenheimer is ahead of the class for those little idiosyncrasies. He is constantly for just the slightest advantage for his football team. Any
Kansas City 2 of 3 third down opportunities in the ball game. The Raiders show an 8-man front. Kansas City continues to run short yardage. This is Kimball Anders back in. Bothered by that ankle last week. Missed the ball game, but he's okay today. Has a first down at the 43-yard line.
Kansas City has been one of the top rushing teams. Denver leads. Pittsburgh is second. AFC teams, and over the last 5 games, Kansas City has improved their rushing numbers dramatically. And there's Paul Hackett using the run, the gifted backs he has back there, all the things that they can do. This is a multiple offense.
First down, 43-yard line of the Raiders. Here's a flea flicker. Good coverage downfield. Nothing there. Now throwing back underneath the coverage. Pass is complete at the 25-yard line. It's Andre Rison. Lake Dawson was the deep look, and the Raiders had dropped on him. They come back underneath it for 21 yards. There's a flag back at the 47-yard line.
Now, last time these two teams met, Andre Rison had 8 catches for 162 yards in that game-winning touchdown. So he likes playing the Raiders.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. 96 defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's on Darrell Russell. the rookie from USC.
Who I might add is playing out of position, will be a defensive tackle, but because of injuries has moved out to defensive end. Again, good job by Gannon keeping this play alive, just looking around. Rison recognizes that Gannon's in trouble. There's the push. Yeah, he took an extra step. Easy
but that's
call.
ticky-tack.
Well, but that's an easy call.
That's a push, though. I mean, he didn't hit him. No, that's football. I don't agree with that. Here's Greg Hill. And I'm all for protecting the quarterback. But that's ticky.
Yeah, but when Charlie, after a quarterback throws the ball, that's when he's most exposed, and that's when he's offered the most protection.
Yeah. But he just shoved him.
Well, at 330 pounds.
Well, that's a shove.
Yeah, if he shoved you.
It's all capital letters. I'd be out in the hall.
No, you'd be 4 boots down. So.
I'd be welcoming you to the Raider Radio Network.
Yes, you would. Not a bad start here for Rich Gannon.
6 of 7, 98 yards. Second down. Bennett keeps going, runs out of the pile and into the end zone, and that is his first touchdown this year. He'll hang on to that football. Kansas City fashioned in reality a 95-yard drive. Remember, they started right at the 10-yard line and then had that 5-yard penalty. It'll go in as a 90-yard, but it really took him 95.
Charlie, that was one of the poorest exhibitions of tackling I think I've ever seen in my life.
The extra point is good, and Kansas City is on top by a score of 10-0. Back with the kickoff.
There's a lot for both teams. Watch the center and both guards power out. Watch the defense of the Raiders. Everybody standing up. He runs over James Trapp. Very poor tackling. 9 yards for the score. That play embodies the Oakland Raiders defense, 1997.
As I mentioned, the first touchdown for Bennett this year, his 3rd career touchdown with Kansas City. Meanwhile, the Kansas City Chiefs have totaled 127 yards in total offense already. With 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, Oakland's offense -7, 3 and out 1 time. Desmond Howard on the return. Slides to the outside and then runs out of room. Oakland Raiders, only the 2nd time in the ball game, are going to be on offense when we come back as Kansas City has the early 10-0 lead. Ball game, their record is 4-9. Second time in the ballgame they have been on offense. They start from their own 31-yard line, first down. Been a very disappointing season for the Raider fans. Here is Williams, a former Kansas City Chief, around the left side. He'll pick up 7 or 8 as we'll check out on the ticker scores from other ballgames. Denver and Pittsburgh are now tied in that ball game at 7-7, so we'll be keeping an eye on that.
Be quiet.
Well,
people right in front of us might hear. Marty will get very upset.
We're not supposed to tell the players or fans here at Arrowhead Stadium. Don't you love that?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. That's what it's all about.
That is so typical of Marty Schottenheimer.
Gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
Fumble.
Ball is still loose. Kansas City has it. No, it's still a scramble for it. I believe the Chiefs do have it. On the second grab, yes. Anthony Davis with the recovery. First turnover of the ball game. So Oakland, it was 3 and out and then 1 and fumble.
I'm not sure that Napoleon Kaufman gets this ball cleanly. Yeah, it's kind of rolled to him by Jeff George. Hit the shoulder pads. And Anthony Davis off the recovery, and then he and Vaughn Booker, 99, both of the Kansas City Chiefs, are fighting for the football. It is the Chiefs' ball. You know, Marcus Allen made a comment to us yesterday that I thought was so telling about this football team. Nobody wants to be on the sideline for the Chiefs. Everybody wants to be out there on the field.
Including Marcus Allen. Oakland, 35-yard line, first down. Kansas City up by a score of 10-0, and here is Marcus Allen as he heads to the far side and just heads out of bounds. Not happy as we go to New York for an update.
All right, Charlie, Kansas City fans will like this bit of news from Three Rivers Stadium. Cordell Stewart, the pass outside to Yancey Thigpen, who escapes a tackle, eludes another couple of tacklers, and completes a 33-yard touchdown with the extra point. Pittsburgh pulls even with the Broncos at 7. Charlie?
Again, the battle for home field advantage, and right after this play, we'll talk more about that because everybody is aware of the Denver Broncos home field advantage, and not many that aware of the Kansas City Chiefs home field advantage. Here's Marcus Allen, slides to the outside and then is taken out of bounds at the 24-yard line, but he has the first down. Now let's go back to the battle for home field in the playoffs. The Denver Broncos, they're very tough at home. Everybody knows that. Their winning percentage at home is 76%. Now, this is the last 9 years since Marty Schottenheimer's been with Kansas City. So that's the criteria that we use, those 9 years. The Kansas City Chiefs winning is just under 77%. So you can see how important it is to be at home during the playoffs. Whoa. First down's 9-zip. Hello. Marcus slides to the outside. He just slides along, glides to the 21-yard line.
He is best described, I believe, by just majestic. When he carries the ball, there's a certain regalness to Marcus Allen. Second in carries all time to Walter Payton. For two teams, obviously, the Raiders and for the Kansas City Chiefs. Told us yesterday when the season began he wasn't playing much. Thought maybe this might be his last year. Now with the success and his contribution a little heavier, I like this. I might hang around forever.
Second down and 7. Oakland 21-yard line. Kansas City up 10. Huge hole on the right side and then explode. Kimball Anders, the ball carrier. That hole was like 3 yards wide.
Yeah, and Charlie, if you keep looking at the defensive line of the Oakland Raiders, there's Fred Whittingham, the defensive coordinator. Everybody's on their feet. Nobody's really powering off the line of scrimmage. Historically, Raiders defense, one of the most physical defenses in the league. None of that in 97.
In the first quarter, the Raiders had 4 downs and a punt on offense. They trail 10-0. At Arrowhead Stadium with the Kansas City Chiefs up comfortably 10-0, completely dominating the ballgame. How much have they dominated? The numbers tell the story. Time of possession.
Historically,
that's like 6-1.
Yeah, it's never that easy against the Raiders. This year is obviously the exception.
Marcus Allen comes sliding through for the first down. Now, let's take a look at that play. He does something. We ask him about it. He always has another yard, another 2 yards, and everybody wonders how he gets from here to there at the end of a play. He does it here. We talk to him. He talked to us about what the defense is doing. He talked like a quarterback. I know what the defense they're in. I know if they're an over and under where the pressure is coming from. I know which side to slide to. As you talked to him earlier, he said he always keeps his eyes open. He is looking, and he's finding an extra yard or two. You're right. Magnificent is the true word.
Majestic.
Majestic.
There you go.
I like magnificent. Gannon, he's going to throw this one away. And he made it. Did he get to the front row of the stands? Pretty good on with a nice touch.
But again, a sense of where the tackle was, get outside the hash mark, throw it away. We've got enough weapons on our offense. We don't mind giving up a down. 6 of 8, not bad start for Rich Gannon.
Second down in the 10, the ball just outside the 10 as the ticker goes by to check out those. Denver's up 14-7.
Keep whispering.
Yes, we can. For those of you joining us late, Marty Schottenheimer doesn't want anybody in the stadium to know anything about that ball game. Here's Marcus, just back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll be third down and Andre Bruce makes the tackle.
Well, one of the few occasions where the Raider defensive line stood up at the defensive line and stopped the Raiders. Andre Bruce did a good job there. Again, Anthony Smith is out today as that pulled quad muscle. There's Russell Maryland, 67, Chester McLaughlin. But the offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs, as they did last week against San Francisco, handled Bryant Young and Dana Stubblefield. If they can handle those two guys, they can handle anybody.
Chiefs have converted 4 of 5 third down opportunities. To convert this one, they'll have to go to the end zone.
Hobson.
They go into the end zone and overthrown. Ted Popson, the tight end. You're right, the intended receiver. So it will be fourth down, and that means that Stoyanovich will come on with the field goal attempt. He has already hit from 44 yards out, so on the year he is now 20 of 21. Here's another look.
Yeah, Popson runs the out and up. Lynch is the man in coverage, not an out and unch.
It actually wasn't. It looked more like an out and unch to me.
An out and up. Lynch on the coverage.
27-yard field goal attempt for 3 more. It is good. Kansas City now leads 13-0. Back to the kickoff in just a moment. That may be the cutest of the Chief fans. He's ready. All right. Yes.
Not overdone with the face paint. You know, I like that. Understated.
A nice understated.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Understated. Now the Raiders are going to have their 3rd opportunity on offense in the ballgame and have not been very successful so far. 3 and out their first opportunity. Can play fumble on their 2nd opportunity. Desmond Howard on the return. But before they get underway, let's go to New York for an update.
All right, Charlie, in Jacksonville, the Jaguars have won 13 straight games at home. The Patriots are unimpressed. Drew Bledsoe to Troy Brown, 9-yard touchdown pass with the extra point. The Patriots with a 13-0 lead in a game they desperately need. Charlie, 2nd quarter.
All right, thank you, Greg. Of course, at halftime, Greg will be updating all of the scores and explaining the playoff pictures. Just how today's games affect the playoff picture. We'll concentrate more on Kansas City and then on the Denver Steelers game to keep that under control. Here's Jeff George. Boy, he has a lot of time. Then he has to throw it away. He had all the time in the world.
And there was still no one open.
That's right. Follow the NFL online at msnbcsports.com. Go interactive and vote for the player that you feel deserves comeback of the year. I want your thoughts on that. Comeback at msnbcsports.com. I have mine. Well, I've got 2.
Yeah.
I always like to vote for 2 of them.
Yeah, I'll make this comment. The Raiders are offline. 1997. Offline.
Comeback. I like Warren Moon.
Excellent choice.
I like Andre Rison.
Excellent choice.
I like Bob Trumpy.
Not a candidate.
Flag is down. I just thought I'd throw that in.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Pat Harlow, we believe, the left tackle, was in motion.
Snap. False start. 72 offense.
Oh, it was the other side, Lincoln Kennedy.
Look, here's the situation as it exists. There's 13-10 to go in the 2nd quarter, and the Raiders are still minus yards on offense. This is -5.
And they run 6 plays.
6 plays, -5 yards. That's hard work.
Second down, 15. George looks right, comes back though, dead on target to Ricky Dudley, his tight end, who has been averaging 17.5 yards a carry. That's the number 3 average in the NFL. Tongue makes the tackle, but a big 28 yards for Oakland.
Charlie, this young man is still learning how to play tight end. He really started only 1 year at Ohio State. Last year as a rookie, they're going to learn the NFL. What this young man might turn out to be as a tight end is off the at the 6'6", 260, and can run like 4'5" in the 40. This guy might catch a million if he stays healthy.
At the Kansas City 43, first down. Harvey Williams on a sweep to the right side, has the corner, down the corner, then out of bounds. Stepped out of bounds at the 34-yard line as we step across the country to New York for an update.
All right, Charlie, a heads up for Kansas City fans at Pittsburgh. Denver's Terrell Davis from 3 yards out finds pay dirt, his 14th touchdown of the season, and the Broncos are back on top of the Steelers, 14-7. Charlie.
Thank you, Greg. And again, the same situation. Denver runs the table, they'll have home field advantage. If Kansas City runs the table and Denver falters, they'll have home field advantage. Second down, yard to go for the first down as Tim Brown slides across in motion. Little play action fake, fires right on target, pass is complete to James Jett. One thing, Jeff George has as good an arm and as quick a release and the accuracy of anybody I've ever seen. He just has that. That part of his makeup is absolutely awesome.
Now, wait a minute. Let me change part of that. You said as good as. There has never been a quarterback with a release like this and the accuracy and the ability to throw off balance. This is absolutely a gift. There has never been a quarterback.
Better than Namath? Better than Marino?
Absolutely. Never been a quarterback throw like this young man. Ever.
That is high praise. And we saw the last two perfect examples.
But he hasn't won. That's the difference.
Next step, Napoleon Kaufman, 20-yard line.
Jeff George was interviewed extensively by the Kansas City Chiefs. When he was available, both Carl Peterson and Marty Schottenheimer sat down with him, talked to him several times. Paul Hackett, the offensive coordinator of Kansas City, looked at 42 games that Jeff George had played, and their choice was Elvis Gerbach. They like everything about George, but he's not won anywhere he's been. Not just his fault.
Dale Carter, the injured Kansas City Chief. So the clock is stopped now with 10. First two drives, 11 yards. This drive, 48 yards.
Well, at least, you know, they're making progress. They weren't going to be minus yards all day.
Minus 11 yards on that first two. Still hard to say that. Minus 11 yards on the first two drives. Kaufman upended by Anthony Davis. Kaufman, by the way, a brand new father. Napoleon IV is his son, born on November the 11th.
And is averaging 19 carries a game.
I thought you were going to say Napoleon IV.
No.
Napoleon III. That's the running back.
He's averaging 19 carries a game, and Joe Bugel has kept a promise to him. Said he did it about a game.
He's 5'9", 185. Played his collegiate ball in Washington, and Kansas City wants a timeout. So the Chiefs will take a timeout. That stops the clock, 9 minutes and 54 seconds. Time remaining in the second quarter. Kansas City is up by a score of 13-0, and we're going to step aside. We'll be back to Arrowhead Stadium in just a moment.
A good timeout called by Kansas City. Had the wrong personnel on the field. Carter is back at corner. Shoulder seems to be okay.
Third down and 7 at the 20-yard line. Just a little flick. Bounced in. It is incomplete. It'll be 4th down and 7.
James Jett complaining, but that ball was in fact thrown right down into the ground. And occasionally Jeff George will do that. He throws the ball in a lot of instances off balance, feet not set, but he has the arm to get it done. That one just thrown low. He kind of off of his back foot. Yeah, it bounced. I don't know what the receiver and the complaining so much about.
38-yard field goal attempt now by Cole Ford, who has hit 12 of 19 on the year. His long is 53. This is from 38. Should hold up. Oh, hits the upright and kicks out. 38 yards away, hitting the upright. If you're an Oakland Raider fan, you've got to say, what else can go wrong?
The only thing that can go wrong is just the game has to continue, and there's two more. Charlie.
45 time remaining here in the first half at Arrowhead Stadium. A ball game completely dominated by the Kansas City Chiefs as they lead by a score of 13-0. Cole Ford hitting the upright from 38 yards away. Really the only drive that the Raiders have put together in the ball game. Donnell Bennett carries. And here's a program note. NBC tonight. Don't miss the network television premiere of the action blockbuster Terminal Velocity, starring Charlie Sheen, Nastasia Kinski, Bob Trumpy's favorite actress, right after bloopers and Dateline. It's Terminal Velocity at 9/8 Central, NBC tonight. He said he had a small wager that I couldn't get through Nastasia Kinski.
You did a wonderful job.
I faked you out. Joe Horn is now in the ballgame as a wide receiver for Kansas City. And Denver has scored again. They've gone up 21-7 over the Steelers as Bennett carries to the right side. Denver next week will be at San Francisco, and then they're home against San Diego.
Well, again, you look at Fred Whittingham, and this has been the entire season. Watch how many Raiders are on their feet, just kind of shuffling down the line of scrimmage. Nobody really fires through there. Beaker 54 is blown out of the way. And the fullback runs right through James Trapp, his first year at safety. This defense has not made the effort. I'm not sure it's deployment. There has been little or no effort all season long.
Bennett now 4 carries. He's rushed for 22 yards. He gets the call again. He's got 3 yards on the play as we go to New York.
Charlie, you mentioned Denver's 3rd touchdown of the day. Here's how it happened. For the 2nd time, John Elway connects with Rod Smith. This one a 25-yarder. The Chiefs chasing Denver in the AFC West. They're going to have to run a little harder. 21-7 Denver early in the 2nd quarter, Charlie.
Charlie, I did John Elway's first game for Denver in Pittsburgh in 1983. The Denver Broncos had 60 rooms at the hotel. The press had 75. That's how big a deal it was.
Well, the Broncos are not going to go away and hide. I mean, they're going to stay right in the middle. They have a great football team.
Absolutely.
They have a great football team, and Kansas City also has a great football team. It's going to be an interesting battle right down to the end of the season and then into the playoffs. First 3 possessions tells the story.
Yeah, you can see 3 for 3. Touchdown, 2 field goals. And we mentioned, we're going to mention all day long, Denver and Kansas City. Everyone remembers the kind of success the Chiefs and Denver have had. 95, the Chiefs were 13-3. 96, Denver 13-3. These 2 teams in the AFC West have just blown up the rest of the division.
3rd down and 5. Blake Dawson comes across the motion. We got movement and flags. Now, just an even added note to it. We mentioned earlier that Marty Schottenheimer has never lost to Oakland here.
Snap, false start, 62 offense, 5 yards, repeat.
So Glenn Parker. And remember, as we continue our conversation about home field advantage,
yes,
Kansas City under Marty Schottenheimer's record, Mile High Stadium in Denver, is 1-8.
Wow. It's even worse wherever Marty Schottenheimer has played John Elway.
That's right.
I mean, we're just looking at Denver.
That's right. That's the drive.
Yeah, don't forget the drive and the fumble.
Yes, the drive. Oh, yes, the fumble. Oh.
Marty has not had great success against John Elway.
He would rather play them here.
He'd rather not play them.
He'd rather not play them. Not going to go away. All right, Gannon, he wanted to set a screen, had to roll out of the screen, pumps it to go deep, cuts back. A nice move. What is this nice over? A little move to the inside, a little move to the outside, a semi-slide as he stepped out of bounds.
No,
a little dip move as he came to the sideline.
Charlie, you call it. This was going to be a screen, well diagnosed by the Raiders. And when Gannon came out of college, 4.5 speed as a quarterback. And when he turns to the outside, he says, "Oh, look at those red jerseys. Those are mine."
He lost his balance as he got to the sideline.
I don't blame him. First down pickup. That's the most important thing.
He's been watching the moves of Marcus Allen. All right, first down, 47-yard line of Oakland. And speaking of Marcus Allen, ball comes out, but no, it was down. Ground cannot cause a fumble. 7 yards to the 40-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 3.
That's another thing that Marty Schottenheimer emphasizes. Hang on to the football. He is down. Russell Maryland, 67, kind of drags it away from Marcus, but it was a good call by the officiating crew. Hang on to that football. And frankly, for Joe Bugle and the Raiders, that's all they can hope for at this point. A bunch of turnovers keeps them in the game. But the Raiders, Charlie, is it safe to say they're lifeless? I mean, just no emotion. No emotion.
2nd down. Inside handoff fake on the handoff and then the pitch. Back to Kimball Anders. They're going to scramble for a yard. Is that what Marcus said yesterday when we were talking to him? An okey doke?
No.
And I said,
no.
What's an okey doke? He said, we just kind of make something up.
No, this is not made up. This is almost taken away by Chester McLaughlin. It's a design play. Anders doesn't catch it cleanly. He does a great job to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's an outstanding job. Historically, you couldn't run that play against the Raiders, whether they were in Oakland or Los Angeles. They'd be all over you just behind the offensive line of scrimmage.
Kansas City already has rushed for 100 yards and just tacked this on to the end of it. Kimball Anders. Eric Turner with the tackle.
Ran right between Chester McLaughlin, a Pro Bowler, 91, and Russell Maryland, a former first-round pick of the Dallas Cowboys. Right between them. Excellent blocking again. The front line of the Oakland Raiders, shadows, mere shadows of their former selves. And Joe has no idea why. One of my theories is with Chester McLaughlin. When Howie Long retired, Chester McLaughlin suddenly turned into a different sort of player, and it's not a good sort of player.
Gannon into double coverage, and it is almost caught by Lake Dawson. Who made the statement to us that good quarterbacks can throw it where there is nobody open?
Yeah, well,
and this was one of those throws.
Yeah, there are people who do that. Dan Marino certainly does. John Elway certainly does, and Gannon tries it here. It's good coverage by Carter. And after the play, the incompletion, Chester McLaughlin just, hey, how you doing? How's life? What'd you get your wife for Christmas?
Second down and 10. Oakland 28-yard line. Chiefs running almost 6 minutes off of the clock. On the run, full stride. Lake Dawson tries to pull back. 11-yard line. No, it's not Lake Dawson. It's Andre Rison. Spider-Man has 18 yards.
He's got Terry McDaniel on him. Outside release, a little fake. See, again, when you put Terry McDaniel 5 or 6 years ago, I think was one of the 2 or 3 best man-to-man coverage corners in the league. But he's just getting a little long in the tooth. You can't expect him to do that anymore.
62 yards today. That puts him over the 1,000 mark. 4th receiver in Chiefs history to that in his 5th 1,000-yard career season. And he's always been this year big against the Bay.
Yes, he has.
Big against San Francisco last week, and now big against the Oakland Raiders. Drilled in. The receiver tripped. Was that Gonzalez that tripped? The tight end?
Tony Gonzalez, Eric Turner, the man in coverage. Gonzalez is split out to the left just a little bit. Gannon does a good job of looking right, coming back left.
He fires it too, doesn't he?
Incidental contact. No big deal. That happens. But again, Gannon's knowledge of the offense, he starts out looking right half of the field, knows where the next guy is, goes right back to the middle, almost makes the completion.
Second down. Gonzalez, the tight end, back inside. Greg Hill, 5-yard line.
Why not? They've absolutely dominated the scrimmage, has Kansas City, and every time the Chiefs kind of spread the defense out of the Raiders, they've run that trap or that lead play right up through the middle, and it's been pretty easy pickings for the Chiefs to this point.
3rd down and 4 as we are coming into the neighborhood of the 2-minute warning. 2:35 and counting. This is the 4th time in the ball game the Chiefs have had the ball on offense. They have put points on the board the 3 previous times. Total yards, Oakland has 47. Kansas City is 224. Play action.
Wide open. Wide open.
He can run for it. Points. Slides in the gliding stride by Rich Gannon. Why not?
Charlie, that's now the 18th rushing touchdown that the Raiders defense has allowed this year. But watch Gannon Hughes on the rollout. Nobody covers him. One of the things that's happened to the Raiders defense, they're just not lined up right. You can see Russell almost makes the play but can't. But in a lot of instances this season, when teams have run motion against this Oakland Raider defense, receivers end up wide open. And Gannon Hughes was there, but Gannon's able to run it in.
Kansas City is up now by a score of 20-0 over the Oakland Raiders. We'll be back with the kickoff in a moment. The Kansas City Chiefs have completely dominated offensively under the quarterback Rich Gannon. Good time of possession and total yards.
Yeah, and 4 for 4, 4 drives, 4 scores, 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals.
Stoyanovich kicks it away. High and short, taken by Desmond Howard. Howard looks for an opening. Tries to step up a gear. Goes across the 35 out to the 38-yard line. He has 20 yards on the return. Clyde Johnson makes the tackle, the rookie free agent from K-State.
Charlie, I must make this comment. I've been around football for a long time. I've known Joe Bugle for years and years and years. He's a quality individual. But the truth of the matter is, performances like this get coaches fired. And I realize Joe has only been there a year, but this is next to zero effort by the Raiders.
Raiders down 20-0. 2:04 time remaining in the first half. That drop comes out, pass is complete to Ricky Dudley, who is immediately upended by Dale Carter. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Chiefs up 20-0. Back in a moment. Kansas City, the Chiefs dominating the first half of the ball game over the Oakland Raiders by a score of 20-0. Be sure to stay with us for the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Greg Gumbel, who you heard in the updates, will be joined with Joe Gibbs, Chris Collinsworth, and Sam Weiss. All the scores and highlights, and they'll clarify as it's developing today. It's ongoing the last 3 weekends, of course, of the season, the playoff picture.
I'm glad that's their responsibility.
And but for Kansas City, it's very simple. If they win today, they're in the playoffs. Denver is already in the playoffs. Tip airborne, incomplete. James Jett, the intended receiver. They are 0 for 2 third down opportunities in the ballgame. George, 5-step drop. Good protection, steps forward. Slides too soon. Goes down too soon. He's going to come up a couple of yards shy of the first down. In the middle, just in case they do. Not that good a kick, doesn't turn over. Taken at the 15-yard line. Mark Vanover with the fair catch. Can't play the touchdown.
Raiders have yet to recover.
Kansas City will start from their 16-yard line, first down. Kimball Anders goes to the middle.
The Raiders any momentum.
Second down 4. Gannon runs for the first down. Now the semi-hurry up. No, they'll take the last time out here. They're at their own 29-yard line. Stoyanovich is hit from 54 yards away, so that's a 44-yard line. So they need to get.
The Raiders are not cooperating. You have to feel more sympathy than hate today.
Kimball Anders out to the 36-yard line. Semi-hurry up offense. Looking left, setting. Comes back to the near side to Kimball Anders to the 36-yard line. Out of timeouts, of course, so the clock will continue to move.
Fredrickson on the tackle. Chiefs again. Don't make a mistake. Hang on to it.
30 seconds. But now with third down. There's the first down for Kimball Anders across the 50-yard line.
The end of the first half, score Chiefs 20.
But as he does, time runs out. Kansas City dominating the first half by a score of 20-0. Let's go to New York and Greg Gumbel. His son, who's now a little over, not quite a month old, is Napoleon IV.
Yeah, well, Napoleon III will be glad. Napoleon IV will not remember this particular football game.
Here we go in the second half, and don't forget that Kansas City has not allowed a second half touchdown in their last 8 games. They have allowed a total of 8 field goals. That's the only scoring against the Chiefs defense in the second half, the last 8 games. Desmond Howard and Tim Hall are the deep backs for the Oakland Raiders, so they will have the first opportunity to score. And here is Desmond Howard to the 25. Jitterbug step across the 30 and a pretty good return out to around the 35, maybe the 36-yard line. Possessions in the first half. First for the Oakland Raiders.
5 and 11, 16 plays run in the first half. They were in good field position once, and then the missed field, the upright. It's a struggle when your team is so out of balance, Charlie. When your defense is out there just giving up points every single drive, the pressure on the offense becomes so great that every time you go out there, you feel like you have to score, and all of a sudden you can't do anything, and the net result is you're down 20-0 with no prospects.
Kansas City running 44 plays in the first half. And the Raiders open up losing yardage as Napoleon Kaufman is dropped by Anthony Davis.
the Chiefs are going to do to make sure that the Raiders don't get in the mood here early in the third quarter is blitz. You know, you've had your problems. We're going to make them more severe.
Second down and 12. The ball at the 34-yard line. Jeff George told us growing up he followed the Raiders, the Cowboys, and the Steelers, and he always knew that sometime that he'd be a Raider. Back to throw.
Another blitz.
Picked up. Second man slips away from him. Third man misses him. Slides off. The fourth man gets it. A continuing defensive effort by the Kansas City Chiefs.
And Charlie, one of the things about the Chiefs is they've had, in the last 4 games, 19 sacks. They had 5 last week against the 49ers. That's the second one today. And they're doing it with blitzes. So it's not just easy to play the Chiefs. You can see the differential. Pittsburgh has gotten 25 more sacks than they've given up. And Kansas City right there on top. Oakland almost at the bottom.
Third down and 16. George throws a diving reception on the far side by James Jett. And Jeff George bails him out, converting on third down and 16 as he goes to the 50-yard line and picks up 20 yards on the play.
That's Mark McMillan on the coverage. And watch this gifted release and the arm. Wham, not set at all. He carries the ball low. He can fire it from anywhere, and that is on target to Jett for a first down.
And that is a field position arm, they say. He can give you field position in a couple of quick plays.
Absolutely.
Play action fake. Fires. Pass is complete. He goes to Harvey Williams. The flag is down back at the 41-yard line, and all of a sudden the Raiders offense has a couple of things going for it. And this will take it away. The penalty will go against the Raiders. All right, let's see what Jeff George did in the first half, and we'll check that out.
Hands to the face, 77 offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Hands to the face by Pat Harlow, the tackle. And here's what we were talking about.
3 of 7 for 42 yards for Jeff George. And the key numbers there for Rich Gannon is his rush yards. And then he kept the drive alive and then scored the touchdown. So
did not have many opportunities.
No, he did not. No, sacked twice.
First down and 20. Crowd now becoming involved in the ball game since the first quarter. The sack at the 30-yard line. A loss of 10 more is going to be second down and 30. John Browning gets him. That is his 4th sack of the year.
Well, now the offensive line of the Raiders beginning to break down. You see a little game wrong. They are blitzing, and you can pick out what happened, Charlie, there. The Raiders were trying to, with Lester Holmes, they were trying to block 2 guys with 1. And the Kansas City Chiefs just outnumbered them for an easy sack.
Third sack for the Kansas City Chiefs. Their total on the year now is 42. Here's the draw. There's about 5 yards there for Napoleon Compton.
But again, Charlie, you see in this Kansas City Chiefs defense, a couple, 3 years ago, this was an absolute stone wall of a defense. Big guys up front, they plugged it up. But now with the speed on this defense, with the guys on the inside especially, with Davis and with Donnie Edwards and with the 2 young safeties, they're just great speed everywhere, so they can blitz on just about any down, any position on the field. Looks like a blitz coming again.
Third and 5. Raiders converted only 1 of 4 third down opportunities, going deep into coverage, and it is incomplete as Jeff George had to get rid of the ball. The pressure from the Kansas City Chiefs. It'll be 4th down and 25, and the Raiders will kick it away.
Good call by Gunther Cunningham. He faked the blitz, came out with bump and run coverage, no blitz. And McMillan, 29, right in the way of the reception by James Jett.
Meanwhile, in Pittsburgh, the Steelers tied up the Denver Broncos 21-21. Here's the kick. Oh, this is a beauty. Vanover. 13-yard line, and the is going to be wrapped up right at that point. He'll end up losing a couple of yards. They mark it about the 11-yard line. We've got a flag way at the other end, 37-yard line. The preliminary call was holding against the Kansas City Chiefs.
During the kick, holding 49 of the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. Timeout.
That's on Tony Richardson. He said during the kick. So that means Kansas City has the ball back at a moment. Outrageous fortune.
Well,
that's your line, and I stole it.
But the Raiders have been an easy target. Not been moving much, so those arrows were easy to place.
Kansas City now will start from their own 6-yard line. First opportunity in offense in the second half. They just continue to pound it away. Donnell Bennett, who has scored his first touchdown of the season in the first half, but look at the possession.
Yeah, 4 of 5. Absolute total dominance. The Raiders defense not offering much resistance, and the rushing yards for the Kansas City in the first half pretty astounding.
They spread it around, too.
Yeah. Historically, the Raiders have not been a defense you can consistently run the ball on. This year, they've broken a lot of the historical references you have of the Raiders.
Bennett, the remaining back, he is the ball carrier. Just a surge over the left side, and they'll surge past the first down marker. Talking about moving the pile, well, they've been moving the pile.
Yeah, 157 yards, 5.2 yards a carry. 5 guys have carried it. Gannon, 8 yards a carry and a touchdown. And this is now just turn it over to the offensive line, shorten the game as much as possible. Seldom do you get an opportunity like this to beat a team like the Raiders this soundly.
Here's the ticker, the game that we talked about. Denver and Pittsburgh now tied 21-21. Kansas City in front of Oakland 20-0. First down, but whistles are sounding.
Not too much time. Delay of game.
New England in front of Jacksonville. Giants in front of Philadelphia. That's at halftime. Big one in the East. Chicago leading Buffalo 17-3. That's a surprise.
A big surprise.
Seattle and Baltimore are tied at 17 at the half. St. Louis and New Orleans. They're tied at 13 at the half.
About time for Mike to cry. Get that ultimate performance out of the Saints.
That's right. In the second half.
Sure.
Meanwhile, back at Arrowhead at the 13-yard line, first down and 15. Gannon throws a little bit off target. Andre Rison reached out with the left hand but couldn't circle it back in.
Well, Andre Rison saw the safety waiting inside just a little bit. Terry McDaniel again, watch trap. And if the ball's thrown right at him, he makes that catch. But Gannon stretched him out a little bit. And frankly, 20-0 with postseason staring you in the no time to break a rib. And you be a hero when the game is on the line and it's intense. These points, next play.
Nicknamed Spider-Man. Talked to Carl Peterson when he was in the booth before the ballgame. The president and manager of the Chiefs. He said when he signed him, he said, Rison said he wanted to be Spider-Man. So you be any man you want.
Anyway, let's also tell the story that Marcus Allen told us.
Yes.
When
yes,
the first game against the Raiders.
There's Spider-Man.
There's Spider-Man. Andre Rison was the player of the game. He had a huge day. Also had the game-winning catch. He was given the game ball. They get on the plane to fly back to Kansas City, and Marcus and Andre sit next to each other all the time. Andre turns to Marcus and says, "You've always been my hero. This is your game ball because you straightened my life out. I'm going to be a lot better person and player because of your influence." And Marcus took it, accepted it graciously, and said, "Let's go get it."
Yes. I like that. That is so neat. Pass is high. He pops in the tight end. He pulls it down. Shugs off one Raider out of bounds. Picks up the first down. Was that Rob Fredericson, the linebacker, that he simply tossed out of bounds and then picked up another 3 or 4 yards?
Again, Charlie, a great job by Gannon knowing the offense, knowing where the outlet receiver is, and you're right, it's going to be Fredericson. Just a little move, pushes him out of bounds, And then you see McDaniel trying to tackle high. It appears at this point that the Raiders do not want to get their uniforms dirty. That is never good. That's not a good philosophy for a defense.
Now first down at the 30. Remember, it started back at the Kansas City 6-yard line. Bennett gets the call, and meanwhile the clock is just ticking away. 7:45 and counting. We're in the third quarter. And you're right, Kansas City is just going to shorten the game as much as possible.
Absolutely. I found out another thing too. Marty Schottenheimer had the guts to make a list that he called players and pretenders from the 96 roster and gave it to the Kansas City Chief players. And he said, the ones who are pretenders don't become a player, you're gone. And if you stay a pretender, if you become a player, you'll be here. So he's got a lot of young kids who are willing to go to the wall for the Kansas City Chiefs. You see the result.
Slips the tackle. They're going to get the sack. He fumbles it. Chiefs, I believe, are going to recover the ball. And also what Marcus Allen told us something else. He said, we may not have the best players, we have the best people.
Yeah, there was a great emphasis on the character brought in. A tremendous emphasis on that. And that's another thing that Marcus likes about the situation he's in. And of course, anytime you have a guy like Marcus Allen, what he does, what he's done throughout his career on the field is about 1/10 of what he's done off the field too for the players around him.
Third down and 19. Bennett has the corner out to about the 27-yard line, stays in bounds. Clock continues to run. Pushing and shoving contest is underway. And always in these kind of games, those start to rear their ugly head in the second half. This will be the first punt of the ball game.
Yeah, but leading 20-0, even though it is the Raiders, it's not worth a fight today. It's just not.
You're right. Willie Aguiar will kick it to Desmond Howard. Takes a bit of a Kansas City roll to the 30-yard line of the Raiders as Howard steps away. It's good for 42 yards. We've got a timeout. We'll be back in a moment. Chiefs lead it 20-0. 5:43 time remaining in the third. The only shutout win to the Raiders here, the last one October the 11th, 1981. 16 years ago. George will be sacked from the backside.
Derek Thomas.
Fourth sack. The Falcon got him.
Yeah, the Falcon is the position that was first made famous by San Francisco. They called it the rhino up there, the elephant. He gets right around Pat Harlow. And it's also remarkable, Charlie, I think, that the Chiefs are 10-3, and Derek Thomas has played so little this season with that torn tricep. Another sack for him against the Raiders.
Thomas now 5.5 on the year. Kaufman carrying as the ticker will go by. Wayne Simmons with the tackle. That, by the way, was Oakland's 22nd offensive play of the game. 22nd. The Chiefs have run, as a comparison, 52.
Wow. And leading 20-0, you basically take Napoleon Kaufman out of the game. You've got Jeff George has got to throw the ball.
Third down and 12, or it's 3 and out.
Thomas again.
Here is the screen, and it is dropped by Napoleon Kaufman.
Well, it started with Derek Thomas again getting right around the corner of Pat Harlow. He's got that great first step. Just all speed around Harlow. And then this ball is just a little bit behind Napoleon Kaufman, but should have been caught.
That is the third 3 and out for the Raiders in the ball game.
But the only other people keeping track of those 3 and outs is the Raiders defense, Charlie.
Arrowgoose kicks it away. Down at the 21-yard line of Kansas City, where the Chiefs will take over with 4:21 left in the third. and your seat is next to the lady with this hat on.
Wait a minute, that was a Christmas gift. Somebody looked long and hard for that hat, Charlie.
Yeah, that's fine, but I don't want to sit next to her. Kansas City will start for their own 21-yard line. They leave by a score of 20-0. They'll just continue to work on the clock. Donnell Bennett. He'll battle his way out to the 22 or 23-yard line. Darrell Russell with the tackle.
Whittingham, the defensive coordinator, he has seen this scene entirely too much. 19 first downs, 292 total yards, 28-46 in time of possession. And Paul Hackett is just padding stats here for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right. Second down and 7, 24-yard line. Donnell Bennett. Russell Maryland with the tackle.
You see the defensive numbers here for the Raiders. Total yards last. The best, 27th. And Charlie, after this game, if it continues this way, those numbers are going to get worse. And historically, the Raiders have been an absolute dynamic defense. Just beat you up, bloodied you, bruised you, broke you.
And they've had great confrontations with Kansas City. Not only here in Arrowhead Municipal Stadium. Remember Ben Davidson?
Oh, sure.
When he nailed Lynn Dawson?
Yeah.
Gannon sets. He goes deep. Has single coverage. A little pushing and shoving contest. The catch is there. Whoa! Tamarik Vanover. That is only his 7th catch of the year. And he has it under duress.
Yeah, Perry Carter has excellent coverage. The little hesitation, but Tamarik Vanover, one of the best receivers in the league. You see the arm over, Carter's arm over his. Great concentration. Makes the completion.
Oh,
that is a great
that's a highlight
catch.
In addition, it was good for 40 yards. It converted on 3rd down and 7. And Gannon does not like the defense. Takes the timeout. As Bob mentioned earlier, you don't want to make a mistake. You've got the game under control. Back in a moment. City in front of Oakland by a score of 20-3. The NFL 20-0. The NFL season extends to the World Wide Web on NFL.com, the league's official website. Visit NFL.com for all of the scores and stats, including a complete roundup of this weekend's scores and action. Plus, chat live with some of the NFL's biggest stars. It's all at NFL.com. First down inside the 35-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. And Donnell Bennett will carry again. James Trapp makes the tackle.
We discovered in conversation with Gannon that his father-in-law is none other than Bill Brown, former fullback of the Minnesota Vikings. In fact, played against the Kansas City Chiefs when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Bill Brown's daughter Shelley and Rich live up in Minnesota. She was a former gymnast at the University of Minnesota, so Gannon certainly has background, both sides of the fence, the husband and wife.
And they met in Europe, right?
They met in Sweden, yes.
3-step drop, up, look left, it's there. Rising, head fake, out of bounds. Terry McDaniel had the coverage.
And Bill Brown's name comes up as one of the oldest running backs in the NFL. Of course, Marcus Allen has played the most games for the Raiders and the Chiefs. Tupu. The one name that surprised me was Otis Anderson. I didn't realize he played 182 games for the St. Louis Cardinals and the New York Giants. But the leading TD rusher for both the Chiefs and the Raiders.
First down, 21-yard line. Off of the left side is Bennett. He's been averaging only 4 carries a game this year. He's getting a large share of the lows. Denver now has regained the lead from Pittsburgh. Elam with a field goal of 35 yards, so Denver's up 24-21. In Marty Schottenheimer's press conference this week, he was asked the question, who do you like in the Denver-Pittsburgh game? His answer was, well, I like Bill Cowher, but I like Mike Shanahan too. But I like Bill Cowher better.
You want nothing on the opponent's locker room wall. Be the diplomat.
That's right. I like it both. Thompson is the man in motion. Again, Benny gets the call. And he'll be dropped at the 20-yard line. So we'll take the countdown to the end of the third quarter. We'll put 3 in the book. We have 1 to go. And Kansas City on their way to the playoffs. Back after this messages from your local station.
The NFL is prohibited.
Back in Kansas City, start of the fourth quarter, 20-0. The Chiefs lead the Oakland Raiders. And this game is, Charlie, this game is 2 hours and 2 minutes old.
Donnell Bennett is the ball carrier. Lamar Hunt and his wife Norma just came in to say hello. And Johnny Robinson, who received a $100,000 check for the great Christian work that he is doing with boys in Louisiana. And of course, he was a great safety in the Super Bowl IV.
Yeah, he was. He, along with
of course, Lenny Dawson was the quarterback.
Emmett Thomas, who was the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, that was a great football.
By the way, didn't Lamar Hunt Jr. hire?
Yeah, Lamar did. Lamar did, the man right there. Yeah, he gave me. Here's a field goal. When it's going your way, everything goes your way. Of course it is good. For Pete Stoyanovich. Chiefs up 23-0. Left Kansas City shutting out Oakland 23-0. There's Pete Stoyanovich, who just kicked the field goal. That's not too bad.
That's good company.
Yes, it is. Consecutive field goals made Nick Lowry the all-time record for Kansas City at 21 in a row. Stoyanovich now has matched Jan Stenerud, who's in the Hall of Fame. Stoyanovich will be kicking it away. Desmond Howard is the prime return man. They're kicking everything high and short. Does it again. Taking at the 14-yard line, out to the 25. They just press him against the far sideline and out of bounds. Now, most of our ball games, we have Charlie's memories going back in time of games that I have broadcast in the past. This one, Kurt Gowdy was upstairs working the sideline. And this was the last really AFL championship game, which led to Super Bowl IV between the Oakland Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's Emmett Thomas with an interception ball intended for Warren Wells. Jim Marsalis had one. That was one of the biggest football teams I think I've ever seen in my life, the Kansas City Chiefs then. When they sent out Buck Buchanan, the littlest guy in the field was Hank Stram on the sideline. They were monsters back then, Charlie.
And, of course, the quarterback, Lynn Dawson, is a few boosts down, one of the broadcasts for the Kansas City Chiefs. And here we are. We're a few boosts down from Lynn. Yeah, well, that was great times and a great football.
Yeah, both of those teams, the Raiders and the Hall of Fame players off of that team at that era, and the Chiefs and the Hall of Fame players in that era. I mean, that was the AFL. I mean, those were the two teams that you wanted to beat. There's
Biletnikoff, of course, involved in all of those great ball games.
Sure.
And here's the series matchup. Interesting. 75th regular season meeting tied 36-36-2. It has been. It's not that close today. It certainly has been over the years. I mentioned Johnny Robinson, who was in. He was the safety for the Kansas City Chiefs. Came out of LSU as a halfback and was injured in the ballgame. Had some busted ribs in that ballgame. And I remember he went into the locker room. They were working on him, so I rushed in to find out because they were working the sideline. And they wouldn't let me in. And I hollered through the door, "Johnny, how are you?" And this voice came out and says, "Charlie, I'll play in the Super Bowl." And he did. And that year, the 11 starters for the Kansas City Chiefs started every ball game.
Yeah, that was a great player.
Yes.
Aaron Brown was on that team.
That's a great
Jerry Mays, middle linebacker Willie Lanier, Bobby Bell, Jim Lynch.
Second down and 10. George throws far side. He is on target. Hasn't had really that many opportunities to throw.
That is Tim Brown's first catch of the day.
Isn't that amazing? That is his 85th on the year. He's second in the NFL in yards and in catches coming into the ballgame.
And Dale Carter, bump and run, man-to-man coverage. But the two corners here of Kansas City, James Hasty and Carter, can take receivers out of the game.
Have they taken him out, or have they just not had that many opportunities?
Now, they haven't had that many opportunities, but they have also shadowed him everywhere with good bump and run, hard man-to-man coverage. He's at the top of the screen now with Hasty covering him.
Tim Brown with 60 career touchdowns. And back to the running game. The flag is down. The flag is flying way back.
That was Harvey Williams on the carry.
There is no foul. 66 had reported as an eligible receiver.
All right, 66 was Curtis Whitley.
Yeah, who is offensive lineman who came in as a tight end.
And Anthony Davis.
Limping.
He's got the bad left shoulder. Kind of stuck it out there. And that's the worst thing that could happen now. You're winning so dramatically. You're a win puts the City Chiefs in the playoffs, and you don't need an injury to any starting player.
Tamarick Vanover is the return man. The kick turns it over. Will have some room. Calls for the fair catch at the 15-yard line.
Smart move.
Do not make a mistake.
Right.
We'll be back in a moment.
By Compaq, the most popular computer in the world. And by DeVito, a diamond is forever.
An outgoing, well, he's checking everybody out. Can you see? Don't you notice that look? He's finding out who's been.
No.
No, look at that. Doesn't that?
Sure. That's one of Santa's helpers.
Oh, is that Santa's helpers? It's a lookalike.
Helpers, yes.
It's a Santa wannabe.
Or
the seat next to him was empty. Hey, I'll go down there and talk to him. First down, Kansas City. They start from their own 16-yard line. Gannon sets, spins away, avoids a sack. He's in trouble, and he's going to be brought near the sideline at about the 12-yard line. Rob Fredrickson gets it.
Charlie, with the score 23-0, and the way the Raiders have presented themselves, they will have lost 6 of the last 7 games with Joe Bugel as the head coach. And Harvey Williams last week said, you know, some of my teammates have quit. And we talked to him yesterday. I said, do you feel that way now? And he said, actually, I felt that way for the last month. Harvey Williams did not back off of that comment. He said, there's no emotion, there's no spark, there's no energy. And unfortunately, a good guy like Joe Bugel might be...
he might take the brunt of it.
Yeah, he might be a victim.
Let's go to New York for an update.
All right, Charlie, big news out of Pittsburgh where Cordell Stewart caps a 78-yard drive with a 4-yard touchdown run. Stewart has thrown for 3 touchdowns and run for a 4th, and the Steelers grab a lead on the Broncos. 27-24, extra points still to come, Charlie.
If the Steelers win the playoffs, Denver has a loss. If Kansas City runs the table, they're winning today. They win the next 2 at San Diego and New Orleans here. They'll have home field advantage over Denver in the West.
You said that perfectly.
Oh, man.
You are absolutely correct.
This is, what an afternoon this has been. Meanwhile, Donnell Bennett, he's hitting his workout of the year.
The only thing I would say, you can't celebrate Pittsburgh taking the lead against Denver as long as number 7 is still vertical and on the field. John Elway has made a living stealing people's hopes. Another lead play right up through the middle, a broken tackle. And Bennett stretches 4. The first down drive continues.
Elway also has 17.5 minutes left in that ball game. They're still in the 3rd. Myers is moving right along at a faster clip. 10.5 minutes left to go here in the 4th quarter. Little play action fake.
Rison
deep over the middle. Rison has it. Just cradles the ball. 6-yard line, first down.
And Charlie, Andre Rison has beaten Terry McDaniel all day long. See, the motion singles up McDaniel and Rison. Good release. McDaniel again respecting the deep speed. The Raiders have historically played a lot of man-to-man bump and run coverage. But with Albert Lewis on one side and with Terry McDaniel on the other side, they just don't have the speed anymore. I mean, now the Raiders have Derek Carter playing corner. And it just doesn't work against receivers nowadays in the NFL.
18 yards to the 47-yard line. Meanwhile, Bennett gets the call again. Rison, 5 catches, 91 yards.
And look, you got to give a lot of credit to Marty Schottenheimer and Carl Peterson. They took Andre Rison. They thought that his time up in Green Bay with Mike Holmgren would help him a great deal. And since Marty has been here, regular season, they've been dominant. Playoffs,
second down, 11. They have a very good football team here in Kansas.
Yes, they do.
Gannon.
Thompson
Rose. Diving reception. Thompson has it at 34-yard line.
Charlie, the one thing I'll say about Gannon, of course, he's just kind of the caretaker until Elvis Gerbach gets back.
Don't forget that. It's a backup quarterback in reality at the helm.
Yeah, when Gerbach's collarbone heals completely, Marty said it would be about 2 more weeks. Gannon has kept an awful lot of drives or plays alive with his scrambling ability, not just today, but in several other games. It's a huge factor nowadays in the NFL.
Oh, yes.
Your quarterback just can't be a target back there all the time. He's got to move and extend the time of the play.
Gannon completing 14 of 20 in the ball game. Back every other play seems like Bennett's going to carry it. We'll run time off the clock. Moving on the 8-minute mark, and the clock just continues to tick away.
I keep giving it to him.
Sure. And then he looks downfield and throws one, and then gives it to him again.
Scrambles around, yes.
Yeah. And also something else that Rich Gannon is doing, and it's something that goes by, and all of a sudden it dawns on you, he's using up the play clock every time.
Sure, right.
He's not rushing. Now there's 8 seconds to just takes it down to 4 or 5 every time before the snap. The snap comes with 3 seconds. Here's the fade. The leap. Was there bumping? Yes. They're going to call it on the linebacker, James Folston. Gonzalez, the intended receiver.
The tight end split out wide, and they got Folston, the linebacker, out there in coverage.
And then a second flag came down right in the neighborhood of Eric Turner, which was away from the play.
Pass interference, 55 defense. First down, Kansas City.
Second flag was a covering flag.
You see, the linebacker does not turn around and make any attempt to look at the football, so it's a relatively easy call to make. And Gannon, that's easy pickings.
Just a day at the office.
Yeah, my fault. What's he saying, my fault?
No, he's saying get the play in. I don't think it's play.
Oh, is that what he says?
Let's go. Don't waste any time. We're at the 12, first down. 7.5 minutes left. Guess what? Every other minute, the pile moves, pushed by Donnell Bennett. A Bennett minute. Whoa. He's strong.
And Charlie, again, right through the defensive line.
6 feet even, 250 pounds.
Nice little move there. There's Eric Turner hitting him. 3 guys trap the strong safety. Turner, the free safety, just hold on for the ride.
All right, here comes Marcus Allen, the touchdown maker himself, into the ballgame. Marcus with 121 career rushing touchdowns. That leads the NFL. That's historically, that's #1 in the history of the league. There's Marcus. Here's what they've done inside the 20.
And those 2 touchdowns all rushing. So Chiefs score this touchdown rushing. It will be 19 rushing touchdowns allowed by the Oakland Raiders in this season to this point.
Play action fake. Marcus is his bodyguard. Gannon scatters back, picks up a block, sets, looping pass, has it. Tight end, Ted Thompson. No, it's Tony Richardson. Tony Richardson out of the backfield. His 3rd touchdown of the year.
Charlie, that's his 3rd catch and 3rd touchdown. Again, the play is extended by Gannon running around, and the touchdown maker Richardson, his 3rd catch, 3rd score.
He's a specialist, isn't
he? Yes, he is. Why don't they cover him?
Why don't they realize this fact? And unsportsmanlike. Was it on Richardson for celebrating? Oh, I don't know. A little, well, okay.
Didn't take his helmet off. I mean, he only gets
well,
three.
You got to celebrate some.
Come on.
I mean, it's only been a long year. 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. And that goes on the kickoff. Extra point is good. Kansas City continues to shut out Oakland. They lead to nothing.
Domino's Pizza, delivering 1 million smiles a day. Call for pizza now and share a smile during the game.
Welcome back to Arrowhead Stadium. Pittsburgh 28, Denver 24. You're not supposed to show that in the stands. Oh, look at that.
There's some fan out there who is showing the rest of the stadium what the score is.
We'll explain, if you were with us at the beginning of the telecast, as Marty Schottenheimer said, I don't want it posted. I don't want it announced on the. I don't want the players. I don't want the fans to concern themselves with the Denver-Pittsburgh game. And so we have kept it quiet, actually.
Yes.
And only told you at home.
But now,
the word's out.
Yeah, word is out, and it'll spread through the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
That the Steelers are, in fact, ahead of the Denver Broncos.
But what it won't spread is that it's been going back and forth and back and forth. They've got a good ball game going there. This kickoff will come now from the 15-yard line. It is picked up by Tim Hall. And Hall is decked at about the 41. We'll step aside. We'll be back to Arrowhead Stadium in a moment. To the year, Marty Schottenheimer. Don't you love it? The kid had one on one side. Hey, we really like that. We will take a shot of it. As soon as the red light goes on, he flips it to the other side. I had a sinking feeling for a moment.
Well, look at the total yards. 411 to 71.
Ooh. The surprising number is that Kansas City is not leading by more than 30 to nothing.
You're absolutely correct, Charlie.
Raiders will start from their own 41-yard line. Ricky Dudley, the tight end, pulls it in. Dale Carter covers it.
And Charlie, if those of you out there who don't pay a lot of attention to the Chiefs, you think this is the exception, no. Last 3 games, look what they did to John Elway, Warren Moon, and Steve Young. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. They sacked Young 5 times last week. They have been in absolute control for the entire season.
And the defense has not allowed a second-half touchdown now in 8 games. Well, you can say 8.5 because we're into the 4th quarter. Mark McMillan was there for the Chiefs. James Jett for the Raiders.
And Jeff George's numbers.
13 attempts.
Isn't that amazing?
That is.
Just totally took the Raiders out of any chance whatsoever. And Gunther Cunningham, he is the architect. Marty went to him, came to him last year, middle of the season. Our defense is too slow. Make the switch. And man, have they ever.
3rd down 3. Going deep, ever so close. James Jett, the intended receiver. McMillan with the coverage. He can fire the ball, and Jett can fly, but they missed on the connection.
Yeah, actually, I don't like this choice of who he went to, but we all know how much speed Jett has.
Real time. Oh.
And look at that stride. McMillan gives a big enough cushion that he can stay with him. Excellent coverage by McMillan.
4th down, Raiders will go for it. The crowd reacts. 76,379 are here. Run out of time?
No, not too much time.
Kansas City, a timeout? Yo.
Kansas City. First charge team timeout.
Kansas City takes their first charge team timeout. We have 5:49 left to down 3. Oakland at their own 48-yard line. They go for it. Jerome Davison joins the offense in the backfield. Tim Brown, far side. Pattern. He knew where he would could be. Tim knew where the ball was coming. That may have been his only option. They may have just decided, you go, I'm going to throw it to you, and we'll do it.
Yeah, ball is intentionally underthrown by Jeff George. You see the contact, no pattern. I'm just going to make contact. You underthrow it. I'll turn around, come back, and get the ball, and they do convert the 4th down.
First down now at the Kansas City 40-yard line.
That's Tim Brown's 2nd catch of the day, Charlie.
Needs 3 total yards to become the Raiders' all-time leader over, interestingly enough, Marcus Allen. Tim Brown kind of weaving his way through the backfield of the formation.
Blitz.
Goes to the far side. Catches there at the 29-yard line. This time it's James Jett. James Hasty had the coverage, and Raiders are beginning to move just a little bit. James Jett on the year, first 4 years, 8 touchdown receptions. This is 11 touchdown receptions, leading the NFL.
See Kansas City even coming with a blitz in that last play. To protect that string of touchdownless second half quarters. Is that right? Touchdownless? Okay.
Touchdown. As Davidson going across in motion, here comes the blitz. Pressure right up the middle. Incomplete. Williams went up for it, and Donnie Edwards came over the back and knocked it down. It's an incomplete pass.
Jeff George is very fortunate. You see, Derek Thomas, 58, comes around the left-hand side. Pressure place. Jeff George takes a chance to try to make the completion. And Donnie Edwards, who has been absolutely all over the field for Kansas City this season, knocks the ball away.
And Kansas City has a player down. That may be Anthony Davis. He was injured earlier in the ball game. It is Anthony Davis. By the way, Kansas City has only 1 timeout remaining. We thought they had 2. They were charged on an injury timeout earlier when the player did not leave the field. If you have an injury and you leave the field for 1 play, you're not charged with a timeout. If you stay in the ball game, it costs you a timeout. Clock is stopped. 4:27. 4 minutes, 27 seconds. Time left in the ball game.
And Marty's still teaching. Still teaching.
That's what he likes.
Yeah.
When we talked to him, he said, we're a teacher.
Yeah.
That's the part that I really enjoy.
Yeah, and he did say last year that he had some guys who weren't interested in learning.
They were not students.
And
now they're ex-students.
yeah, now they're someplace else. He said, I got a lot of young, energetic guys who want to learn. I like teaching. They're receptive. And you see the net result.
Jerry Wooden replaces Anthony Davis. Oakland's ball at the 29-yard line of Kansas City. Second down and 10. Kansas City with the game in hand. Now it's a defensive pride factor. They do not want the Raiders to score a touchdown. A little jumping. Defensive line. I believe that was Pat Harlow. It was. With a false start, that'll cost you a quick 5.
Prior to the snap, false start. 77 offense, 5 yards. Repeat second down.
Second down, 15.
You know, I imagine Marty Schottenheimer wishes, I wish the NFL had a savings account.
Yes,
where we could bank a couple of touchdowns here against the Raiders to use at a later date. Not going to happen.
That's a great idea.
You don't get many chances to beat up on the Raiders, Charlie.
Jeff George caught from behind and sacked. Dan Williams gets him. That's 7.5 sacks for Dan Williams, 5 for Kansas City. And they had 5 against the 49ers. They've matched the total.
Yeah. Jeff George trying to get something going downfield. Good job by Williams getting off. Newski 76 runs a little spin route. And Jeff George just kind of fades right into the spot there, and Williams does come up with the sack.
Third down and 20. We're in 4-down territory, no question about it. Field position, clock, and score all involved. Here comes the blitz again. Going deep, and it is almost caught. Incomplete. Whoa. James Jett. Jeff George just missing on the connection. Jerome Woods who is the AFC Defensive Player for the month of November, had the coverage.
Charlie, I thought this ball should have been caught.
I do too.
An excellent throw by Jeff George.
Yes.
Yeah, just fades a little bit to the outside. Would have been a great catch by James Jett. But with 11 touchdown catches, he's made more difficult catches for a score.
Yes. And Jeff George was right on target.
Yes, he was.
Right on target. Fourth down, of course, fourth down and 20. They come back with the same play. Stutter step by Jett, and George, meanwhile, is sacked. He is dropped at the 50-yard line by Wayne Simmons. That is the 6th sack of the ball game for the Kansas City Chiefs, topping last week's effort against the 49ers. Wayne Simmons has 2 sacks to add to his total, now 3.5 on the year.
And that's now 25 sacks in the last 4 3/4 games. Jeff George looking for the escape route, the exit door. It was closed by Wayne Simmons, and the Chiefs take over.
Kansas City takes over with 3:36 left in the ball game and a 30-0 lead. And you expect them here just to run out the ball game. Starting with the ever-present Tonnell Bennett. Time now for the Miller Time game summary.
No gain on the play.
Pick a number.
It's 2nd and 10.
These are some of the most astounding numbers, Chiefs Raiders, you'll ever come across. Rising 5 catches, 93 yards. Gannon 15-21 at 225 yards and a touchdown. 5 first downs, 86 total yards for the Raiders.
The ovation for Rich, as he has now been replaced by Billy Joe Tolliver. And what a great ball game he has had, and how successful he has been coming on in relief of Elvis Grbac. Injury, came in, had the bad first ball game, and then since then he has been as good as anybody in the business.
You also have to just look in amazement. He's now 4-1 as a starter, replacing Grbac. 25-22 lifetime. And this guy's been around for 10 years. Started a great many football games. Loves this offense.
In fact, this is only his 47th career start in 10 years.
Yeah, loves this offense, loves the people around him, and is in a perfect spot, and is certainly willing to give the football right back to Elvis Grbac when he is, in fact, deemed completely healthy.
Meanwhile, Bennett just continues to carry. That's 23 carries. He's up around 85, 90 yards. We've got a time. That gives us an opportunity to remind you of the Sun America post-game report that we will have after the ball game. We'll be giving all the scores and highlights of everything that's going on in the playoff picture. And now the clock is wound. That will take us to the 2-minute mark. So we'll step aside. We'll return in just a moment to Arrowhead Stadium. 4th down, Kansas City kicking it away. We'll be down at the 15-yard line where the Raiders will take over as we go for an update.
All right, Charlie, Patriots and Jaguars in Jacksonville. Mark Brunell for the 2nd time today. Touchdown pass to Keenan McCardell, 12 yards. The Jaguars go for a 2-point conversion, but the pass to Willie Jackson is no good. So instead of pulling to within 8, they trail by 10. 5.5 to play in regulation, Charlie.
Still an uphill battle for the Jaguars. Was that a rolling touchdown on that reception?
Nobody down him.
Nobody down.
Keep advancing the ball.
Here comes Oakland from their own yard line. 1st down. Jerome Davison, the ball carrier, and the clock will continue to move. This is updated with 9 minutes to go. Right now, the situation looks like this. Denver's record is 11-2. Kansas City's record is 11-3.
Yeah, they're into the 4th quarter in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh still leads 28-24. And again, to repeat, if Denver and Kansas City tie at 6-2 in the division, then because of a tie with the best record, then Kansas City is going to have the home field advantage because of the best division record at 6-1 as opposed to Denver's 5-2.
Denver trails by 4 now in that ball game with the Steelers. And again, now from the Steelers standpoint, if they win, then they're into the playoffs. There's some other scenarios of other people losing, but that's the easiest one to understand. Kansas City, time of possession in today's ball game, 41 minutes and 30 seconds. 41 minutes and 30 seconds out of 60 minutes.
I don't think when the season began with 6 new starters on offense and 5 new starters on defense. Yeah, that's Carl Peterson, general manager.
With a great jacket on. I love that jacket.
Yeah, I don't think anybody around Kansas City thought they'd be this successful. And then Kansas City will now have won 7 of their last 8 football games with this victory.
The countdown continues. The Raiders have lost now 10 straight at Arrowhead. Kansas City now have not allowed a second-half touchdown in their last 9 ball games. The final score, Kansas City 30 and Oakland nothing.
And it wasn't that close. 30-0 shutout, Charlie, and it frankly was not that close.
Rich Gannon's 5th consecutive start, and what a job he has done.
They just announced the score that Pittsburgh beats Denver in Pittsburgh. That's why the big cheer here in Arrowhead Stadium.
And again, if you weren't with us, Marty.
A real big blow, but still John Elway sees him coming.